September 11, 2023, she's producing audio. But where is the video? If I was attacked, if you're saying I was abused and you installed the camera, where is the video? Why are you not producing the video? Why? Because it's not convenient for her, because it did not happen. It's easy to manipulate audio, right? The evidence that is circulating online and that was submitted to the state, this was a 30-minute incident. She has sent to the state attorney's office 6 different audio clips with 5-minute increments. If you're not editing, if you're not using AI voices, then why don't you produce the full 30-minute audio clip unedited, and why don't you produce the video? Why? Because if she does that, it'll show that I was never hit. It'll show that none of the stuff he was saying to me, or like the verbal abuse stuff that's going around there, wasn't said. What people need to realize, that technology, when you have money and you have resources and you have connection, audio is very easily manipulated. And when you hear it, if you're smart and you have experience with this kind of thing, and people who know Javon, they're like, he doesn't speak like that. And you can tell sometimes it skips, or the voices come in and out, that audio is not what it was. She had the capabilities to produce a video, and she did it in court. She did not in court because there was no attack on me. I didn't get hit at all. There was none of that. In fact, I told them at one point, I don't like how you're talking to me. You're hurting me with your words. And that was edited to, oh, don't hurt me or don't hit me or something like that. And that never came out of my mouth. And very important, because they tried to use my best friend, and I won't say her name for her protection, because I don't think they know which best friend it was, but for her protection, because she's also been harassed in Boston, and I'll talk about that later on. I called her, and that's what the court document says, and the audio that they're producing where they edited my conversation with her, which is the complete invasion of privacy. But okay, I tell her, hey, my mother called the cops on Javon. She's saying that he hit me, but that's not true. She's saying that he grabbed me by my neck, but that's not true. And she tells me, oh my God, that's terrible. Like, why would she do that? And she even asked me as a best friend, are you sure that didn't happen? Like, you can tell me, I'll take a plane over there. Like, you shouldn't be with somebody if he does that. Are you sure? I said, no. So, I wouldn't lie to you. She's known Javon, by the way. We all went to high school together. She's known him since age 14 as well. It's actually funny. Her sister is married to one of his best friends. We all went to school together. So she knows him. So she's like, okay, oh my God, your mother's crazy, whatever. And that got edited to sound like I'm telling her he hit me, when if my best friend, who loves me to death, if I said that to her, she would have came here, she would have whooped Javon. So I want to do that to protect her integrity, because they're also trying to lie on her and manipulate that situation. And she never said that.
Wow. Okay. So, all right. So now this is September 11th, 2023. But there's a video that's been being passed around on the internet that's time stamped, I believe, January 16th, 2022. Now, we don't have to get into that now, but I'm sitting here looking, you have this situation 2022, you have this situation 2023, you have this being altered, this being edited. There seems to just be a lot of terror in your life. And if I'm also correct, your phones were cloned?
Yes, 100%. And we have proof of that.
So when did you find out that the phones were cloned?
So sadly, I found out too late. I'm going to be honest with the public. I found out really late in the game. So September 11th happened. That caused us to move. We moved out on this is very, very important. We have proof of this. So if my mother thought that I was being abused and, orchestrated the calling of the police, and Javon didn't get arrested, a typical mother wouldn't continue to associate with her daughter's abuser. We have evidence. First of all, Javon continued to stay in the house on September 11th, 2023. I want the record to show that. If he hit me and they really believed that, he wouldn't be in the home with my 80-something-year-old grandfather and still be laying there and sleeping there and continuing to exist there, number one. And number two, his birthday's on September 19th, and she bought him dolphin tickets for his birthday. And we have text message of her writing to him and saying, I love you, happy birthday. I'm so glad you're in our family. Yeah, we have all of that.
So
Yeah.
hold on. She stages this whole. I mean, honestly, it's a soft swatting in your life on September 11th. Nothing happens because nothing happened, and then a week and a half later, she's giving him dolphin tickets and saying, "I love you and happy." That almost sounds manic.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Or was it
I want the
or was it meant to be an
understand.
apology or?
She made it seem like, okay, you guys have to be able to communicate better and not argue. She made it like a mom or a mother-in-law that wanted to support us and doesn't want us arguing. And she says that can't happen. What happened today can't happen again. You guys have to be able to work it out. And by the way, texting him, which I can produce messages saying that I'm the problem and that he should leave me because I'm the problem. Yeah. So she was talking bad to him about me and talking bad about him to me. So she was working,
Well, that's called
in the back.
triangulation, and it's a
Yes.
narcissistic trait. That's what they do. Whoever their object is, whatever it is that they're targeting, they work to make sure that they have control of the story around everyone around you, and then keep feeding you false information. They'll say one thing, they'll do another. It'll seem like everything is okay. This crazy thing happens, and it, oh yeah, let's forget about that. Everything's back to normal. It's that emotional tug of war. And the truth is, it's traumatic. It really
Yeah.
is. To constantly have someone playing, as we say, in your face,
Hmm.
and then still enacting great harm in the backdrop. So I'm okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get that little bit of context. So please continue.
Yeah. So texting him, which we found this out obviously now with the case, we didn't know at the time. So texting him basically, you should leave her. She's crazy, whatever, talking bad about me, her daughter. And then texting me like, oh, he's abusive. He's crazy. You should leave him. So working overtime to get us to turn against each other and make us both think the other person was the problem. And um, we realized we wanted to move out at this point because
Yeah.
now what's going on. But at the same time, it was weird because she was inviting him to her home. He was going. She got him the dolphin tickets. She was FaceTiming him. My dad was FaceTiming him. Everything seemed okay. But we moved out October 5th, 2023, into a townhouse. And then I was still working at Iconic. And then that's when she saw that we moved out. Oh yeah, that's when it was like hell. That's when everything took a strong left because now we're not under her visuals, right? There's no cameras. I didn't know at the time that I had a tracker in my car. I didn't know that my phone was cloned and that my iCloud was hacked. We didn't know that until later on. And I think that's important for the public for you guys to know why stuff continued to happen. We didn't know at that point. So we move out. We're living here in this townhouse. We move out October 5th. And out of nowhere, Iconic wants to have a meeting with me. And they're like, oh, you've been working here for some time. You've been doing well. We want to give you a promotion.
Well, how
And so
long had you been working at Iconics at this point?
3 years, about 3 years.
Oh, so you were there for a while.
Yeah, I was there for a while. Yeah. And it was crazy because I had a lot of respect and I thought I had a very good positive relationship with one of the owners, Liz Frahella. I have texts like her saying, you're like a daughter to me. Thank you. You're family. You're this, you're that. And so, uh, I was severely betrayed and severely played by them, and it hurt a lot. It was another thing that hurt because I never I didn't. It was in this case, my case, going through this, that I started to realize how many people could be bought and sell their souls very easily. And so that in itself was hard. But yeah, I was working there 3 years. They have this meeting. They tell me they want to give me a promotion, but if we're going to promote you and we're going to pay you, I went from 65,000 to 125 grand. You have to do more work. So in my head, I'm like, okay, well, if I'm going to be making this much money, it makes sense to have more responsibilities. So I'm like, what are those responsibilities? Like, let me see if I can do that. What is the scope of work? And they're like, well, we need you to travel. We need you to, there's not going to be set hours. You need to stay later. We need you to, manage more projects. And so I had the discussion with Javon. He's like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Like, I'm supporting you, whatever. And so I was like, okay, I'll try it. I'll see how I like it. And I said, yes. I took the offer. I'm like, why not? Then that's when it started to become sketchy with Iconic, in the sense that I normally would get out of work 5, 6 o'clock. And then it's like, oh, well, why don't you stay? So-and-so is staying. This is why you're getting paid more. So then it was like, people were staying in the office till 10 o'clock and they wanted me to stay at 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, well, I got a man, I got a partner, I got dogs. Like, I want to be here till 10 o'clock at night. Like, and then it became like gaslighting. Like, they would text me like, oh, without saying any names, so-and-so is getting paid less and is here till 10 o'clock. But you can't stay till 10. And so I started to feel guilty. Like, man, am I like being a lazy worker? Am I not performing? Like, that started messing with my head. Like, I don't deserve this salary because, somebody who's barely making money is staying there and working all hours. And here I am, like, trying to go home at a decent hour. Like, I started to think that something was wrong with my work ethic. Like, I was questioning, like, am I doing a good job? Like, and it became like they were calling me at all times of the night, like 1 a.m. She's telling me like her personal business, like she's having a fight with her husband or having this. Like, it became there was no boundaries. Like, it became, because we're paying you this, you have to take in all of this toxicity. You have to have no boundaries. And I didn't, at first I thought that that's how I had to accept that treatment. Unfortunately, I thought that okay, if they're paying me well, like, this is normal to be in a toxic work environment, to work late hours, for them to call me and have no boundaries. And I was getting suspicious because it became, oh, why don't you come to this event? So-and-so basketball player is going to be there. Or why don't you work this Nike event? This guy is going to be there. And I was like, well, why? Why does that matter? Number one, I'm not a groupie. I don't care how much money you make, who you are. Like, I have a partner and I love him and I'm with him for what's inside, not for exterior motives. So that concept of so-and-so and name dropping and this person's going to be there, that doesn't attract me. It never has. Like, it's just like, I think Nipsey Hussle would say this, it's not what's on you, it's within you. And I really stand by that. And so it became a lot of that, like, and them getting mad that I was leaving. And then it became, oh, why don't you come work at our house? And I'm like, yeah. I didn't feel comfortable working at anybody's house because even though they were a married couple, he's still a grown man. And she's a very jealous woman. I've witnessed that in the workplace. So I'm like, I don't want to go to your house. Oh, well, so-and-so is here and he's been here since 11 o'clock working with us at our house. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel comfortable working in someone's home. Like, I don't want to do that. And that's when I became suspicious. I started to realize, okay, something is weird. Something is weird here. But I continued to work because I was like, am I being paranoid? Like, am I crazy? Like, and then I started to think, is my mom paying them? Because why are they asking so much of me? It was weird. And I was like, no, Demoree, you're being paranoid. And then December happened. So Nike has a thing called the Nike Academy where they have workshops to give small businesses opportunities, where they give workshops to teach, how do you get a contract with Nike? How do you get a contract with this big person as a small business? And it was to increase their diversity and inclusion program. Okay. And so we got offered the opportunity to participate in those workshops with Nike like earlier in the year. And these calls are like 200 people on a Zoom with vendors. Like it's a huge call. Everybody's on it, but they had discontinued it. And so here Liz is texting me, I think, I don't know the exact date. You can pin it, December, I think 13th or 17th. Hey, just want to bring to your radar, because she was traveling. We're traveling. We're at an event. There's a Nike Academy call scheduled for tomorrow. They asked us to nominate somebody to run the call. We need you to do it. And I was like, that's weird. Like the call got discontinued weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, sure. Like, I'm not going to question my boss, and I'm not going to not go if she's telling me I need to be present in a meeting, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. I show up to the office. Nobody was there. So I called her and I go, hey, nobody's here. She's like, no, we're all working in activation. The call's on Zoom. Take it and just let us know how it goes. So I was like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. I hop on the Zoom, and there's only one person on the Zoom, a woman. And she identifies herself as Rachel Thomas from Nike Academy. And she tells me she's the director of the academy. And so I go, oh, well, nice to meet you, Rachel Thomas. My name is Demoree. My title then became the marketing director. So I was like, I'm the marketing director at Iconic. I was just told to join, whatever. And and I asked her, hey, since, because I already had like my intuition is always on point. That's what I learned with this. I said, hey, do you mind me recording you since my staff is not here, so that I can replay the meeting so that, I don't have to take notes? And she gave me consent to record, which was phenomenal, right? For my case.
Yeah.
So I'm recording, we're on the Zoom, and I go to her, she's like, tell me about your background. It became, remember, I went to school for social work.
Right.
I've worked intakes, assessments, safety plans for people. So she started doing what we call an intake assessment to get background. She's asking me about my childhood, how I grew up. And so I go, Rachel, I'm sorry, is Nike hiring are you like in charge? Like, how corporate offices have psychologists that do like workshops for like work-life balance that they, the employees intend. Is this what Nike is doing? And she's like, yeah, it's something like that. We're just trying to, teach people how to cope with high stress environments and work. And Nike's trying to like do a test run on these sessions and this and that.
How you were raised and your toilet training was required to know.
I already knew. I was like, wait a minute. And she kept asking me, like, it became like one question, for example, and I can provide that recording to you. Like, how do you say no to people who might not want to hear no? I'm like, what? I'm like, so then I would go back. Oh, you mean at Iconic? So I would play her. Oh, you mean at Iconic? Oh, yeah, at Iconic. No, we're all amazing people. We have a great team. Like, I was just lying about how amazing Iconic is to trick. Like, you're not gonna, like, I already picked up something was weird. So every time she would ask, I would spin it back to Iconic. And then I really scared her when I said, oh, yeah, I know where you're going with that, because I was a social worker. And she's like, you were a social worker? And I go, yeah, I was a social worker. I work with abuse victims, survivors of torture. And she's like, huh, like you'll hear the audio. And I'm like, yeah. And then she was like, oh, okay, well, like she kind of like wrapped, but it was like already a 40-minute session at this point.
Yeah.
And so I told her, this is how I was smart. I was like, do you have a website I could share with the rest of the staff so that if they want to look up your work with Nike, they can fall back? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to be busy the next 2 days, so I'll send it to you when I can. I'm like, okay. 2 days later, she sends me a link, which I will give you that picture as proof. They created a website. They put NikeAcademy.com, her photo, Rachel Thomas, her fake background with Nike, and I screenshotted it, sent it. At that time, I was still I wasn't with the grief counselor for grief counseling. I was just really seeing her for work-life balance and things like that once a month. And so I said, hey, can you do me a favor? Since you have access to like therapists and doctors, can you look this person up? And she's like, well, this person, is she a doctor? And I go, this is going to sound crazy, But I think I was just tricked into doing a psychiatric evaluation with somebody who's posing as a Nike director, but who's really a doctor. And she's like, "What? Like, Demoree, are you getting a little bit paranoid?" And I'm like, I have a feeling she's looking her up under Rachel Thomas. She can't find her. Why? Because she gave me a fake name. And at that time, I didn't think, Thomas might be fake. I'm just looking for Rachel Thomas. And then just to fast forward, so that was December 18th. I was forced to do 3 sessions with her, 3 Zooms, which I have proof of. And I think when Iconic saw that I was getting suspicious, they stopped and they said, "Oh, the Academy calls ended." The last one was on December like 20th or something like that. I go to Christmas break. I had a Nike event that I had to do for a week. And then December 29th, I come home from Publix, the supermarket, and a detective shows up at our house, Detective Williams from the domestic violence unit.
Jeez
And
Louise.
she pulls up and she goes, "We got a call that you're being held against your will and tortured." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I just came home from the grocery store. Like, if I'm being look at my arms, I'm not being held against my will. Like, who did you get that from?" She's like, "Your mom sent us a video of you being attacked and brutalized, and we're investigating." And I said, "There is no video. All that is fake. Nobody is being abused." And she's like, "Well, let's clear it up. Have Javon come outside and let's talk to him." I'm like, "Javon's not talking to anybody without a lawyer present, and neither am I. And unless you have a warrant, bye, thank you."
Smart
And
girl.
she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get you. I'll get the warrant. I'll get the warrant." I was like, "Okay." I went inside the house. I told Javon, and long and behold, my mother starts texting him. "We have those texts. We can produce them." "Oh, you woman beater, you're scared to come outside. You're
What?
dumb as a football. Why don't you come outside since you're so scared?" Like craziness. And then
Taunting
he's just
him.
like,
Like literally taunting and mocking.
and he didn't pay any mess to that nonsense. And mind you, December 25th, that was the last time I was with her. So that was before the 29th. She was like kind of insinuating, like, "Why don't you leave him? This and this, he's horrible." And I'm like, "How many times am I going to tell you?" And I want the public to know I did family therapy sessions to try to save my relationship with my mother. That's how far I went to try to repair our relationship. It didn't work because she continued to try to say, "I know he's abusing you. Admit it. I know he hit you on September 11th." And I'm like, "He did not. That did not happen. And you need to stop. Like, I'm not going to admit to something that didn't happen." And when I saw that wasn't going anywhere, and on Christmas Day, when she continued to try to convince me to do that narrative,
Right.
I was like, "That's it. Like, I'm done." I told her I'm done. I can't continue this, and that's what sparked her to, I guess, contact police. They showed up December 29th. I send them away, and then the very next day, Javon and I had plans to take his nephews, or my nephews now, right? And my mother-in-law to a farm called Pinto's Farm to celebrate the holiday here in Miami.
We have all these units calling us here, man. No, he's a private investigator. He's the one following the vehicle. Apparently, the one that was calling about kidnapping and forcing in another car is Auntie. Auntie's not here. She's the aunt of the female who's the victim of DV. That female victim of DV is with the subject right now inside Pinto's. This is the contact.
So, victim is suspect, aren't you getting?
Yes, inside Pinto right now. Like arriving there. But she called, whoever called saying that she was being forced out of the car, he's the only one who was here. He didn't see none of that.
Nobody here?
They're inside. He's the private investigator.
It's important to know that the kids were 2, 7, 9, and 10 years old at that when that happened. This is December 30th, 2023. We're on our way to Pinto's Farm.
Yay! Say hi. Ready? You guys say hi. Say hi. Woohoo!
This is a workout. This is a little workout.
You said what?
We're not even there 15
You look how
minutes
cute you look.
when like 8 police officers show up and they grab me. I had to put the kids down. The kids are crying.
What I'm explaining to you right now.
Wait, no. What is going on?
Step back. Just come on.
Excuse me, do you have a warrant for his arrest?
He has a probable cause to be arrested. Right?
No, he does not have a probable cause. You guys are harassing him. No. Go get your grandma now. Go get your grandma now.
But stay back from me.
No.
We'll talk to you in a second.
You don't have a warrant for his
I'm
arrest.
telling you, we'll talk to you in a second.
Where my mom at? Yo, can I tell my mom?
Stay back from me.
No.
We'll talk to you in a second.
You don't have a warrant for his arrest.
What y'all doing? You got anything on your boss? Any weapons or anything?
Nah, man. What the hell? Hold up. Y'all can at least tell my grandma. Hold up. What you doing, bro?
I'll make sure you have nothing in here. You want your grandma to have this?
Don't make this difficult.
I don't understand. Wait, just.
Where's the warrant? Where's the warrant?
I'll show you in a second.
Let me see the warrant. No, where's the
We'll
warrant?
talk to you guys in a minute. If you give
What are
us a
you guys
second,
doing, man?
we'll give you a minute.
Where's the warrant?
I'm not telling you.
We need a warrant. Get the door here.
They know something we don't know. They know something we don't know.
Okay. It's because of Desiree? Hey,
Where's the warrant? Where's the warrant for his arrest?
You gonna let me tell you?
Where's the warrant for his
You
arrest?
have the key to his car?
No, Javon!
What's the key?
Javon, the
I'll
key.
give you it. Don't go over
No,
there.
can I follow him, please? Let me see the warrant.
Take the get already, man. What y'all doing, yo?
You don't want it?
I mean, I want it. Hey, Ma, you.
I got it. Here.
Where's the warrant for his arrest?
He has a message. I'm telling you.
Where's
You
the
dropped his
warrant?
glasses.
You need to arrest him. He hasn't done
Don't
anything.
tell me I'm doing anything illegal.
Okay, so
I'm
where's
doing
the
everything
warrant?
legal.
Where's
No,
the
you're
warrant?
not.
No, you're not.
That's fine. I'll see you guys in court. Pick up the glasses. Pick up the Perez. You want my badge? Yes. 10386.
No, that's the
Stay there.
your badge.
Stay there.
Where's the warrant and why is he being
I
arrested?
promise you.
Why is he being
Take a
arrested?
picture. I gotta go.
Where's the warrant for his arrest? Can I see the warrant for his arrest?
I don't have to show you it.
Which like it? This one?
Central Units 331, delivery 3080331.
Hey, go ahead and step in the car for me, please.
Yeah. I get something.
Yeah, because
Yeah, he always got something going on.
Oh my
I think people need to realize that we were tormented. The kids are crying. Javon's now getting arrested. I'm like, where's your warrant? Like, what is he getting arrested for? My mother-in-law name drops. Desiree Perez sent you. Desiree Perez sent you, didn't she? You see their faces like kind of step back. He gets arrested. And then the next day he makes bail and we get him out. But we don't know. Like at this point, I called her when I'm at the farm. This is the last time I spoke to her. I said, did you get him arrested? Yes, I did. Because he's an abuser, this and this. I go, what is wrong with you? I'm like, you better call all your friends at the police department and you better get him released or I'm going to speak and tell everybody who you really are. Oh, are you threatening me? Are you threatening me? And I'm like, no, but I will expose you because this is wrong. I'm like, there's kids here. Like, if you're going to do this nonsense, do it when the kids are not here. Like, why are you doing that?
Traumatizing for those children.
Yeah, you're traumatizing the kids. His mother is here. And, she says to me, oh, it's not a big deal. He'll make bail tomorrow. And I'm like, do you hear yourself? And I'm like, she's like, and if you bail him out and if you support him, consider your mother buried. And I was like, consider your daughter buried. And I clicked on her. Before I clicked on her, my mother-in-law was going back and forth with her. She was like, you do this in front of my grandchildren, like in front of my grandchildren, like, and she was like, I don't care, like, insulting her and all that. And we hung up. And that was the last day that I spoke to my mother. Javon gets arrested. He makes bail the next day. And I want the record to reflect through my amazing investigative team, specifically my lead investigator, who's amazing. We uncovered with body cams, with evidence that I'm going to give to you to produce to your audience. The private investigators, where she rented the house directly across the street from us to watch us 24/7, who followed us to the farm. We already knew we were being followed, but I didn't know until after that arrest that they were living across the street. So we saw somebody following us there, but we didn't know that it was from our home.
So hold on, pause. You got away from the camera she had at your granddad's house so that you could live a life where you could have some privacy. And she was so hell-bent on continuing this this negative campaign against your marriage. That she literally hired private investigators. She rented a house across the street from yours. So people could be there to just descend on you at her beck and call.
And some of those men were unlicensed, which in Florida, by Florida statute, you cannot surveil and follow someone if you're not a private investigator and you don't have your license. That's considered aggravated stalking in the state of Florida. So I just want to put that on the record.
It is. Yeah. And they weren't, these weren't armed people, were they? Did they have firearms?
Yes. Some of them were armed. Yes. And we have proof of that.
Oh my God. So this is when you're finding out. And then the iCloud hacking. When you found out that your iCloud had been hacked and your phone had been cloned, was this all around the same time as well? Or did that come later as well?
That came later as well. So Javon makes bail. I stop talking to her. He comes out the next day just for Pinto. So I can tell you what we uncovered for Pintos. At this time, I didn't know about the phone, right? I started to, we knew about the investigators. Bodycam will show that retired former police officer Jeffrey Brown, and I'm naming it here because I'm not afraid of anybody, and they need to know that they're going, they're being held accountable for their participation in an orchestration of having my husband falsely arrested in front of kids. Jeffrey Brown says in the body cam, which I want the record to show in mostly all the police reports, my mother lies to police and identifies herself as Desiree Perez, my aunt.
So he's a private investigator. He's the one following the vehicle. Apparently the one that was calling about kidnapping and forcing in another car is Auntie. Auntie's not here. Auntie's not here. Auntie's not here. She's the aunt of the female who's the victim of DV.
As we know, she is not my aunt.
Oh, so whoa. You want to know what? We've had a few conversations and I'm still being shocked at the little bit of new info. I'm like, hold on. So now she's your aunt?
She's my aunt on police reports. I'm telling you, buckle up. It's a long ride. You're going to have to edit a lot of this because it's long, but yes. So she, on this particular police report, you will see, and I will give that to you. We're not making it up. She identified herself as my aunt, and her name is on there, which is obviously not true. And in the body cam, Jeffrey Brown, police basically go up to Jeffrey Brown. Jeffrey Brown goes up to police and says, hey, I'm the one, I'm the investigator. The aunt called it in. And the police was like, wait a minute. We got a call saying that a girl was abducted. That's why we're going 90 miles and we all showed up here. Huh? Is anybody being abducted? Yes.
So now you're in Taken.
So she calls police, which it'll say anonymous caller, but guys, we're all smart. The call on the incident report says anonymous caller, but Jeffrey Brown goes up to the police officer, and the police officer goes, we got a call in about a girl getting abducted. Is she really abducted? Like, this is why we all showed up here. Like, we could have died. We were going 90. And he's like, no, it wasn't me. It was the aunt that called it in. And he's like, well, you need to tell the aunt, this is the officer, you need to tell the aunt that she cannot do that. She cannot lie to police and say that there's an abduction happening when there's not. We all flew over here. And you see the police like all startled on body cam. Like, what?
And like, just to be clear, Jeffrey Brown, is he law enforcement or just an investigator?
He's just a PI. He used to be former law enforcement here at Miami-Dade Police.
And so why did he stop being a cop to become a private investigator?
I don't know. We have his internal affair reports. I can produce that to you. I know about other people's background that's not going to be, to their best interest that I'll share later on. But specifically, Jeffrey, I think it was more about retirement than anything. However, he played a part in this, and that's why I'm naming him, because shame on you for orchestrating and basically assisting my mother in lying about an abduction and not telling police, until they show up. And then he pulls up I think it's called a PC, which is like the document that they need to arrest somebody, like a warrant, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, so she's not being abducted, so why were we caught? What's going on? And he's like, oh, you hear him in the body cam. Oh, the girl, she's being abused by the boyfriend, and the detective put like a PC alert for his arrest. So just a little background. When they, and my investigator knows best about this, so when they like issue like, I guess, a warrant or a PC, that means like if officers spot you or if they see you, they can arrest you.
Yeah.
Right. But that's like if, they come across you or if you turn yourself in, etc.
Right.
Police weren't looking for him. Like they didn't know we were at the farm. The reason why they called and lied about the abduction is because she wanted him to get arrested that day in front of the kids and ruin our New Year's Eve. That was intentional. Yes, that was intentional because he says, oh, we have a PC for his arrest. The detective just put it in yesterday and he's here. And the police was like, well, you called saying it's an abduction. Like, yeah, we can arrest him because we happen to be here now because you guys lied, but you're not supposed to be doing that. Like, we stormed out of here. And so you see Jeffrey him. Yeah, they did. They arrested him because they were there. But it's like, he probably wouldn't have gotten arrested. Like, the thing is, obviously it's wrong that he got arrested, but we would have preferred him to get arrested any other day. Like, why did you have to traumatize the kids? These are children. Like, the street code is no kids, no women. Like, we all speak the same language. There's a code in the street world and in the professional world. Like, don't involve kids. Come on. Like, these are children. I had a 2-year-old in my hand. Like, it's not cool.
Do you want to know what's even worse? You're her child.
Yeah.
She was traumatizing you too.
Yeah, it was, let me tell you something. They were talking to us I mean, it was bad. That image is in my head forever.
They did that to embarrass you because they were probably hoping that would be the thing to make the two of you turn away from each other completely.
Correct. It was an embarrassment. It was in an area, family area. There was kids there, families. You didn't have to do that. That was dirty devil's work is what I call it.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law will never get that image of seeing her son being arrested. For the first time. He's never been arrested with the kids. I mean, we had to like make up a story to calm the kids down, and we stayed there so that we can try to make it as normal as possible for them. But I mean, they're never going to forget that day. We had to like say, oh, they got the wrong man. But, that's in their head. Like, they were crying. So she didn't have to do that. So I want to highlight that because that's the devil's work. That's nasty work that didn't have to be done that day. And the officer even said it like, you can't call and lie about somebody being abducted. We're going 90 miles. We could have gotten in an accident. You're wasting police resources. Like, that's not cool. And so Jeffrey Brown identifies himself. He says, I work for several private investigation companies. Today, I'm on contract with PHLANX here in Miami, Florida, which is a private investigation security company.
This is not him.
Okay.
The person that's driving this car
is inside.
Is inside.
With female.
With the female, correct.
And the female is a victim of the DV?
Correct.
Who are you?
I'm a PI, private investigator.
Okay.
He's not you called?
No, the aunt called.
He's working for the aunt.
Right.
Okay. So what happened today? What did you observe today?
I didn't observe anything today.
Okay.
You're just calling because you're saying he's wanted?
Yeah, he's wanted by DV.
Okay.
Okay.
And the victim is the one that he's with?
Correct.
Okay. And someone was saying that he's being forced in or out of the car.
Well, I don't know. That was the aunt calling, so I have no idea.
Okay.
So the aunt's not here, she's calling?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. You need to explain to your aunt that she cannot be doing that.
Well,
Because she hired you.
Yeah, because I mean, I was doing a significant amount of speed.
I was as well.
And I could have gotten into an accident and died or killed somebody for a lie.
Right. Well, I don't know.
No, it's not so you can transfer to her.
She's not here, so it is a lie. So how are you 100% sure this guy's wanted?
DB came out yesterday to speak with him.
Were you there?
Yes, I was there. I'm trying to get a hold of the sergeant right now.
Police tell him the aunt can't be doing that. But what do police do? They continue with the arrest. He makes bond the next day. And we hire our amazing attorney, Naib Hassan. I want to give him credit where credit is due. And the circle of life, because, I knew Naib from years ago working with him. And I never thought I would have to call him to defend my boyfriend at the time. So I always say the universe works. You meet the right people at the right time. And so Naib Hassan represented him. Javon made bail. And I want the public to know that was the arrest, that he got arrested for the alleged incident of January 16th, 2022. So this is not even the September one.
Okay, so here we are at the video that we were talking about earlier that was being circulated around on multiple social media platforms. So after September 11th, 2023, we get to New Year's Eve, great family function, everyone's having a great time, a fake abduction gets called in, you guys are descended upon, he's arrested, and now this is for the footage that we saw from January 16th, 2022.
Correct.
And at this point in time, you didn't know that this video existed.
No, we found out at the, what is it? The bond arraignment?
Yeah, the bond hearing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we found out. And we still were like, but at that time, the state attorney's office didn't even show it to the attorney yet. You got to have a hearing. So we were just like, what? Like, what video is she talking about? So we didn't know.
So you're sitting here, and even though you know that there is history of her surveillancing you, you guys had moved. And you thought that that problem was no longer a problem, but then you're getting followed, and now here we are. And boom, she couldn't get him arrested in September on the 11th. So now she made it work. So do you want to take this time to clear up that video? Because, I did a breakdown of it, and of course it was all speculation on my point, but like you, I've been forced to have to know how to spot AI, how to study it, how to see where it is. And from the second I saw that video, I knew it was messed with. I knew it was AI altered. I wasn't sure if it was you. You were wearing a COVID mask. And at that point in time, my intent was to make sure that people realized not whether or not I was right, but whether or not they could see the deception. So here we are. Do you want to clear that up, or do you want to wait till later?
I do want to clear it up, because I think that we have been extorted, blackmailed, and everything for that. And it's really sad. So I think this is a perfect time to clear it up. So January 16th, 2022, I had COVID. I was wearing the mask because I was living with an immunocompromised elderly man, my grandfather's house. Javon was there. He was super sick that day, earlier in the day. We thought we had to take him to the hospital. He ended up feeling better, but he was severely sick because he has a stomach condition. He's comfortable with me sharing that, so that's why I'm sharing that. He has a really bad stomach condition. The witnesses were even helping take care of him. By witnesses, Milagros Garcia and Olga Sayas were in the home taking care of him when I was in the front of the house in another room, with COVID.
Right.
He got better later on in the day, and he seemed fine or whatever. I want the public to know I've been with him since I was 14 years old, very young, my first boyfriend, first kiss, first type of experience dating somebody. I'm also his first girlfriend, first experience dating somebody, and we've had to grow up with each other and learn each other and learn, like, how are you supposed to speak to somebody, how you're not supposed to be controlling with somebody, the jealous thing, the college drama, like dating other people or flirting with other people.
Normal life,
right? Social media. media, like, oh, you're liking so and so's picture, or are you DMing her? All of that, right? Is normal, right? A lot of couples go through that, especially we were kids. In reality, we were kids. In that video, we were like maybe I think 21 or 22, so or a little bit older, but we were in our early 20s. We've been together since 14. What I want to pinpoint, and I will give that to you to show. The video is 100% edited. 100% edited, and it doesn't show you the whole thing or the real thing.
Okay.
The video is me and is Javon, but that I want the public to know videos can be edited when people are in it as well. So I want everybody to know that. The video starts at the timestamp 10:16. You see those yellow lines ahead of it because she doesn't play or show you. Those yellow lines mean like that the camera picked up motion. That camera is motion recorded. It doesn't record. It wasn't recording all the time. So yellow means there's motion. So the lines that you see before the line that she plays at 10:16, it goes as long as 30 minutes and you don't see anything that happens. You're only seeing 10:16 to I think 10:18, like very quick. And you even see it skip, and you even see my pants change colors, and you see like
I pointed
blur.
all of that out.
Yeah, you see all of that, and you did amazing. You're the only person who's been able to point that out, by the way. And so you see all of that because it's edited. Now, what I want the public to know is an incident did occur, but it's not what you think, and that's why I'm here to clear it up. So Javon wanted to go home. He wanted to go to his mother's house. I was inside the house. I thought that he was lying. This is silly, it's immature, it's insecure, but I grew up very insecure. I had to learn how to love myself. I had to learn how to be in a relationship. So did he. We had to learn what's healthy, not to be, jealous or trust each other. It's just what came with growing up, unfortunately, in a relationship. So I accused him of wanting to see another girl. I was like, oh, you're not going to want to go. You feel better. You're not going to your mom's house. Like, I have COVID. I have to be in quarantine for 15 days. You're probably going to see somebody else. And he's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, where are you getting that from? I was very much like that. I was very much like, oh, like I didn't trust easily. And I think that comes with my background of abandonment issues, trauma, growing up with my parents, right? Being in a dysfunctional family. So I didn't really learn what a healthy relationship looks like. I didn't, in all honesty. And neither did he. He lost his father at a very young age, 10 months, to gun violence. And so he had to learn with me, like, what a healthy relationship looks like. So again, I went into the room. I'm pulling this is not on the camera, obviously. I'm pulling his bag, throwing his clothes. I'm like, you're not going anywhere. You're lying to me. He's trying to leave. It's a lot of that for like 20 minutes straight. I mean, and also there's witnesses in the house. They're seeing this. They're like, you guys need to relax, just let him go, etc. The part of the video that she's reflecting that's edited is already 25 minutes after all the craziness happens and the witnesses are trying to calm me down because I'm pulling him and I'm like, you're not leaving, you're lying. He's like, you need to calm down. My brother-in-law texts me that he's outside to pick up his brother. So I leave. I go to open the door, and then the video starts at me coming out, and I grab a Swifter.
That's
Swifter.
what that was?
It was a Swifter, guys. It was a Swifter. I was using the Swifter originally to make sure I'm 6 feet apart from everybody because I was like, I don't want to get anybody sick. So the intention with the Swifter was always to use it as like okay, let me stay far away. I know it's crazy. But he starts, like, when you see the door open, this is edited. She didn't show this part. He opens the door to the room, and he's like sick. He's not feeling good. He sees me do this, like if I'm pulling up the switch. So he thinks, because in the house we do have BB guns, he thinks I got a BB gun and I was going to shoot him with a BB gun. So that's why you see the door closing, because he's closing the door. And what's funny is she doesn't produce audio, guys. She has audio, but she doesn't produce it. In the audio, he's like, don't shoot me, don't shoot me. And he's closing the door. I'm lifting it, and I'm like, what? Like, what is, like, but you're not seeing any of this in the video. And then the part that she edits where you see him rushing, He's not rushing to hit me or anything. He's rushing to run out of the door, and I grab the swifter and I start hitting him in the head with the swifter, and he lifts his hand to block the swifter out of my hand and push me into the house so that I don't attack him. But the video is edited in a way that it looks like he's like launching to hit me in the face or something.
Which is
that's
why
not the case.
that was the only part that was blurred. And that's what I was pointing out when I was doing the video breakdown. If this was a real time, there would have been no need for them to speed it up to almost 2 times the natural speed, because whatever was going on, they needed it to happen faster to make it look like this happened and this happened. It was sped up.
And it's so blurry in the sense that like you see my head drop and it's like they did it in a way so it looks like he possibly hit me. But no, he's going like this because the swifter's here. He's going like this to block it from smacking him in the eye, because I've already hit him like a couple of times now. And he's going to push, like, to book it back. And then when she tries to, like, edit it that she's, like, shoving me in the house, no. He's, like, pushing me to go inside the house, and he runs out of the house. And my brother-in-law's like, calm down. You guys need to reconvene, like. And then what's crazy about it is my mother and his mother had a conversation with both of us and said, listen, if you guys are going to be together and you can't trust him and he wants to go home and you don't want him to go home because you're just thinking he's cheating or whatever, and you don't trust him, you can't be together. That's not healthy. That's going to lead to domestic violence. That's going to lead to him getting arrested as a black man.
Wow. Wait a minute. Wait, all right, we got to pause because I really want people to get a decent understanding of the Class A gaslighting job that's being done here. Mm-hmm. So you guys have a couple spat, and by the way, give yourself a little bit of credit. You're taking care of an elderly person who's sick, who you love very much and you treasure all the time with, and you know that you could lose someone at any time. You have a boyfriend who's been in your life since forever, who is also sick, going through something. You're stricken with COVID. And from what you were telling me when we were talking during prep, you weren't feeling very good either. So
no, I was not in my clear head. By the way, I had a 104 fever that in that video.
Oh, see, yeah, no, listen to me. Over 103.5, irrational behavior should be completely taken as a real thing. But at the end of the day, when all of this happened, both moms are on the phone saying, hey guys, this isn't good. This isn't healthy. This isn't this. Whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. Everyone was clear that Javon didn't do anything to you, and everyone was clear that you had a bad day and that the two of you needed to work on that. So this is January 16th, 2022. And now, New Year's Eve, 2023 going into 2024, he's being arrested for this?
Yeah. Shocker. We didn't even know she kept the video that she edited, because when our parents had a conversation, like they basically schooled us up. Look, things happen, whatever. Couples could have toxic moments, be jealous. But no, they wanted to nip it in the butt because they're like, that can turn ugly. So they gave us a speech, and then the good thing, COVID helped us in the sense that we have 15 days of quarantine. So we got space, we reconvened, and we're like, okay, we're never going to act that way. I'm not going to act that way. Like, we need to trust each other. We moved on, and that was it. That was the first time that something ever happened. I'm embarrassed. He's embarrassed about it. But at the end of the day, it's the truth. And I don't want to lie. And I want to put it out there that it's a mixture of, us not knowing, ignorant, insecurity, me having my little abandonment issues, trust issues, him not knowing how to respond. At the end of the day, he was really just trying to defend himself and leave. So it was really, by the way, if they would have called the police, I probably would have been arrested, is the reality of it.
Which
That's why my mother was trying to sweep it under the rug and calm his mom down and calm everybody down. And so, yeah, we didn't know that she saved this and that this was going to be presented that's 2022, like a whole almost 2 years later.
January 20. Yeah, we're talking about definitely about 14 months.
Yeah,
it's a long time to hold on to something. And the thing is, if she wanted to have him arrested back in September, why didn't she show that video then either? She could have said that.
And let the record reflect, like, if she thought a man punched me in the head, we have text message and evidence and proof. She invited Javon to Turks and Caicos with my family for my brother's graduation, May 2022. We were on vacation for a week with her. Javon was buying her Valentine's Day gift. She was texting him, "Thank you, sweetie. I love you," this and that. Like, he was engaged. We went to Aspen. We went to the Super Bowl with her, all after this incident in January.
My God. So, all right, this is a lot. So now here you are, Javon she finally managed to get a case on him. And she's got you two separated, or so she thinks. He bonds out. You stand by your man. You stand by. And let's be clear. What I'm hearing isn't just that you guys are in a relationship and that you're business owners together, but it kind of sounds like you're each other's best friend.
That's my best friend. That's how we met. We were actually just best friends. His friend wanted to get with me when we met. So we were best friends. I didn't even know that he liked me because he told somebody that I was like family to him. So I was like, ah. So we started off as best friends, really. So this is like my best friend. Like I told you when we talked offline, even if we weren't together, I still was going to do the right thing and tell the truth, because wrong is wrong and right is right.
Yeah. So, and now in the midst of all of that, so has any of this evidence of the unlawful surveillance, has any of that been presented to judicial? Has it been presented to the DA? I mean, and wait a minute, if I'm correct, because I wanted to make sure that we highlighted on this. When was it that TMZ called the DA about Javon's case?
Okay, so to fast forward. So Javon makes bail for the December arrest. His hearing was originally scheduled for February 5th, 2024. Out of nowhere, it gets postponed to February 23rd, and we don't know why. My investigative team found evidence through public records requests, because in the great state of Florida, you can get public records requests, and emails are considered public records. So this is not illegal, and I will provide this to you to put on your channel just in case they try to come after you for something and claim that it's illegal when it's not. It's 100% legal evidence. We found out that the reason why Javon's hearing that was scheduled for February 5th for the December arrest, which was the first arrest, was rescheduled to the 23rd because my mother, Desiree Perez, and an attorney by the name of Brett Schwartz falsely filed a notice to appear. He did, but I didn't know at that time. So he filed a notice to appear in the hearing in December. I didn't know at that time. It wasn't until after the hearing on February 23rd, we found out through evidence that basically the prosecutor, Lindsay Davis from the state of Florida, emails my mom, this is all on the record, and says, we do not have probable cause or enough evidence to charge Javon Hadley with anything. And so, Brett Schwartz, this man who files and pretends to be my attorney and tells the lawyers that he's representing me when he's not. I've never met this man in my life, but he's really my mom's attorney. Him and my mom forget that they blind copied the state attorney's office. So now we have their communications. And he's basically requesting for this prosecutor, Lindsay Davis, hey, can you extend his hearing to a later date so we can keep him on edge? And that's why Javon's hearing got scheduled to February 23rd. They already knew charges weren't going to be pressed. February 23rd, they did no action. They didn't press charges. Case was dismissed. But then on the email, they're telling the state attorney, yeah, postpone it to keep him on edge. And we're also going to work with the human trafficking team because we're going to try to get him charged for felony human trafficking.
For who?
For Javon.
No, but I mean the charges for Javon, but who was he moving around?
Yeah, nobody. We own a landscaping business, and before that, he was working as a paralegal. We have no ties to human trafficking, no ties to anything. We're normal people. I work a 9 to 5. We have the business together.
It's
we
like,
don't.
It's like a bad guy scenario of let's throw every holy damnation at this person and see what sticks.
Yeah. So now they're CCing the human trafficking, the head of the human trafficking, which his name is Nicholas Chavez, I believe. I'll give you that record. They're CCing all these people requesting meetings with the human trafficking division to try to see if they can charge him on human trafficking. The case gets dismissed on the 23rd, February 23rd. And behind the scenes, we're not, we get these emails later on, but behind the scenes, they're going back and forth with the state attorney. They're meeting with the human trafficking division. Brett Schwartz is lying and saying he was my attorney. And then at that point in the emails, we discover that Brett Schwartz tells my mother, maybe if we hire a brainwashing expert or a doctor, we can have her committed. Essentially, so we can charge.
This is when, oh my God, okay. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
So on email, they're concocting, we can get him arrested with something else, charge him. She won't be able to testify, and we can have her committed, and then he can go to jail. That was the plan, and that's all on email where he says, what if we have her committed?
And this is an attorney that's doing this?
Yes, his name is Brett Schwartz, located here in Miami, Florida, and Desiree Perez. And she's sending all these emails with her Roc Nation signature.
So hold on. Okay. So now not only can we take everything that she's doing and say that there is verifiable evidence for all of it, but she's doing it under her company banners. These are company. Oh, this is terrible. It's just awful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now you're abusing your position to push. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. This is, oh my God.
So we think, okay, at that point,
Has she ever herself admitted that she's been doing this and using her resources from the company to do this to your life?
No, she'll never admit that. And that's why, you see the things being circulated with the lawsuits and stuff. She continues to say she's a concerned mother and was just trying to protect me and denies all of that. But again, the evidence speaks for itself. In this case.
You had said there was one point in time with your, it wasn't your Apple Watch, and it was pinging from a location that you were nowhere near.
That's the next thing. So we're right there at the timeline. So Javon gets out, wins basically February 23rd. Brett Schwartz and my mother and all these attorneys. And let the record reflect Alex Shapiro from Quinn and Emanuel, Brett Schwartz, Laura Gass, Barbara Martinez, Wilfredo Ferreira, I can't pronounce his name, the U.S. Attorney for Human Trafficking, Jessica I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll give that to you. All these people are on an emailing the district attorney, Catherine Rundo, emailing the state attorneys, all trying to get Javon charged with something for months. And we have evidence of that. So, February 23rd, his thing doesn't go anywhere, his case. We're thinking we're fine. Fast forward to March 26, 2024. I get a call from my counselor who tells me, hey, there was a girl who came into my office when I was walking to the parking lot and tells me, are you Demoree's therapist? She's being raped, and plays an audio in the parking lot for me. And my therapist goes, due to HIPAA, I cannot confirm or deny if somebody's my patient. Please leave me alone. I don't know who you are, but you need to leave my office. And she says that this woman plays an audio of a girl that sounds nothing like me saying, don't rape me. And then my therapist tells her, you need to leave, please. I don't know who you are. she immediately calls me and she goes, Demoree, I had this weird girl come into my office, play this. The audio sounded nothing like you. Like, what is going on? I'm at the gas station pumping gas after work. I'm like, what do you mean? Can you describe her? She described her, and I go, I know who that is. I sent her the picture. I said, is it this woman? She goes, yes. How do you know her? I go, that's Natalie Anderson, known as Natalie Love, an assistant at Roc Nation.
Oh my God. Oh wow. Okay.
And so she goes to me, why would she do that? I go, my mother's nuts. I'm not sure, but thank you so much, Dr. So-and-so.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing my attention. And I text her and I said, how dare you effing go to my therapist's office? Nobody's abusing me. Stop with the fabrication. And she put, I'm sorry. I heard a disturbing video and I'm worried for you, something like that. And I said, leave me alone. And I blocked her. And I have that text message.
Wow.
You guys will understand why that happened. The next day, we get a call from the business line. Somebody wants to do an estimate. Javon and I normally do estimates together, but that particular day, the universe had a different plan for us. He said, I'm tired. I got out late. Let's just cancel it. And I was like, no, I'll go ahead and do it because, again, we're new business owners. I'm trying to get as many. He goes, we usually do it together. Like, let's just cancel it. I'm like, Javon, I got it. I'll go. I can go by myself. It's fine. He goes, but it's a little bit far. Like, I go, it's okay. It might be a good opportunity. Let's go. You stay, and usually I take my little dog everywhere in the carrier because nobody cares. So I'm like, I'm going to bring her. He's like, just leave the dog. I'm like, God knew that the dog had to go with me to keep me calm and cool and collected. So I brought the dog. I go to, it's called the Royal Palm Yacht Basin in Dania Beach. And let the record reflect that one of the men that was there, James Fondo, his ex-wife owns that yacht basin. So that was no mistake for that location to be picked, where there was no witnesses or people that can intervene.
I know Dania Beach. I hang out on Dania Beach. It's one of those little places, and it's not far outside of Hollywood, so it's right there. And I would go there to go stargazing at night. You can do some awesome stargazing there. It's, no, I'm very familiar, and I also know that that's an area that's very restricted, and it's one hand washes the other in those neighborhoods.
It took me an hour to get there. So I drove an hour because that's how far we live. I arrive, and when I get out, there's 2 police officers with guns, 3 men, a woman. And when I saw the police, I knew, oh, this is Desiree. And so I get out the car and I'm like, what is this? What's going on? And then they're like, oh, we received a call from your mother and 2 witnesses that you tried to overdose the night before. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how did I try to overdose? Where is the police report? This concerned mother. Where's the ambulance report and the police report? Because nobody just survives an OD and doesn't go to the hospital. We have these rappers dying left and right for overdoses. So how am I alive? And where is the medical report and the ambulance report? Oh, your aunt and your family friend, Natalie Anderson, again, Roc Nation assistant. They said that they witnessed you the night before trying to kill yourself. And I said, how did they witness it if I haven't lived in the same house as my mother since 2016? And how did they witness it if I haven't spoken or hung out with any of these people since December 25th, 2023? So, and my mom is in New York. So how did that happen? He goes, well, they told me. I go, they're lying. You're being paid. I'm not going for it. I'm not suicidal. I don't meet criteria. I don't do drugs. Let the record reflect, and my friends and everybody can tell you this. I don't drink. I have never drunk alcohol. I don't smoke, never done drugs. Growing up with parents who weren't around and who were in drugs really traumatized me, that I grew up saying, I never want to do that. Like, I was so scared to do that because I was like, oh, like, I never want to put my kids through that, because I would see drugs as the thing that took my parents away from me. And so I always made a pledge to myself. I would never be involved in drugs. So extreme that I didn't even drink alcohol ever. All my friends in college could tell you this, Jag. I was the mom of the group. I was the designated driver. Everybody who knows Demoree doesn't drink. They were just like, man, this girl, she's just high off of life and good spirits and good energy, because I don't need any of that stuff to have a good time. I have a good time with myself, my energy, with my friends. I like dancing. I've been, I could go out dancing. I could do that, but I don't need a drink. I don't need that I don't even eat meat. So it's just like, and for me to take a Tylenol, I have to be sick. Like, I'm try to be natural, like very clean eater. So here's this man telling me this, and I'm like, no. And I'm like, and I have social work experience. You're not going to tell me I meet criteria. So you hear me in the video. I'm telling the police, where's the paperwork? I've never met this man. Who are these men? Like, what is going on? Can you call your supervisor? No, we can't call your supervisor. If you don't go with them, you're going to be put into jail. I'm like, I'm accessing the situation. Your dog is going to go to the shelter. The truth is that my dog needed to be there, because if my dog wasn't there, I would have been put under arrest. What does that mean? I'm not saying that I would have, committed a crime, but the truth is I would have left and they would have had to arrest me to try to take me into a hospital. The dog and my dog's well-being is what I was prioritizing. So that's why when people were like, how are you so calm? I was like, you guys really need to thank my dog, because I love my dog and I was just trying to do what was best for her. So that's why I think the universe and God said that dog needs to go with her, so that nothing worse could have happened. And you got to understand, I don't want to feed into Desiree's narrative. I don't want a narrative that we see in Hollywood. Oh, she's crazy. That's why she's acting out. Look at her. Look at the body cam. And I wasn't going to give them what they wanted in that moment.
Well, that's smart on you. That's super smart on you.
Yeah, I already knew that.
Well, the thing is it seems as though you've been forced to have to learn these things to protect yourself from someone else's unwanted attention and unlawful attention. So here we are. And this is the part of the story where I really want to let you speak, because you're detained for absolutely no reason at all, for something that's completely not true. How did you make it through that situation?
Hello. How's it going? How's it going? I'm waiting for a car to go by. There's a girl driving it. She's like a kind of mentally unstable person. She's coming from Miami. She's driving over to Royal Palm Yacht Basin. I have a doctor, Dr. Boba from Hollywood Memorial Hospital, who's over there right now waiting for her to show up. Where? At the Royal Palm Yacht Basin.
Where's that at?
The back there. 600 block of Northeast 3rd Street. Okay. We're just going to hopefully pull up when she gets there. Just want to stand by with her while he evaluates her. That's it.
Okay, that's fine. So you want us to stand by?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there...
Just don't want her to take off. Because she's...
What if we have to act like legal scopes?
Huh?
She takes off, she takes off. Right?
Well, he's going to bake her out.
People need to hear the whole thing. I say, she's the CEO of Roc Nation. She paid you. He's like, all doctors get paid. And I'm telling the police, do you not hear this?